on! We're back for another exciting week with Freedom Forum.
We exist in the land of Roy Moore, where you can be accused of just about anything if Mitch McConnell doesn't like you.
Just Mitch? It's more than Mitch.
Yeah, but Mitch got his face slapped when Luther Strange lost.
Yeah, well, on the more positive side of things.
I thought we were positive. It's a setup.
Just a fact.
We're positive.
But anyways, let's say a prayer. We really do need to pray. Lord, we need to look to you for our strength each and every day, because the challenges are great. This group up here and in this room love their country and want to see it go back to what it used to be, which could be a major, major challenge. But we need to understand the enemy, and that's what we try and teach our people through this media here and other medias. In your name we pray. Amen. Tomorrow night, would you like to make your announcement?
Yeah, folks, as previously stated, I will not, I repeat, I will not have a meeting at Elise's. All of us are going to Jim's meeting with Trevor Loudon.
It's all my fault.
We're going to go hear the sins of Antifa.
And Trevor Loudon spoke Monday and is speaking as we sit here in North Shore. Great reviews on it. Said he was right on the point, and I read some of the statements from some of my friends on Facebook from the meeting. You don't want to miss this. Trevor Loudon is an author, filmmaker, and public speaker from Christchurch, New Zealand. For more than 30 years, he has researched radical left Marxist and terrorist movements and their covert influence on mainstream politics. Loudon's research.
How many Yinglings?
Yeah. Loudon's research shows that communism, Marxism is not just a historical problem. All right, enough. But is a very grave and looming threat which will not only impact America's national security. Trevor, been doing this for 30 years. You need to come and join us tomorrow night at the Robichaux Center. We'll start at 6 p.m. and it'll go till about 8:30. The Robichaux Center is located at 1919 Eras Landry Road in Lafayette. There's 2 videos, give an idea Trevor stands for and has done over the last 30 years. One is a speech he gave at CPAC, which is awesome. And the other one is America Under Siege, Antifa by Trevor Loudon. I did post some of this on Facebook. It's a challenge to get speakers like this to come. Mm-hmm. And we need to support that. And I don't mean financially, which we did have plenty of help on this, but could use more. But the thing is that it's a challenge to get these speakers to come in here. I feel honored. This was all coordinated between the New Orleans Tea Party and the Patriots and Jeff Carrere, who has a radio show 5 days a week in New Orleans. And through that coordinated effort, which is why we ended up with this Thursday instead of the second Thursday of the month. I got another speaker lined up in March. We, last night, Butch and I, this is my brother-in-law Butch from the great state of Arizona, which we're going to have a little fun with that in a little while, seeing as how the Advocate helped us out a little bit. But
funny how that worked out.
The thing is that getting people to come and speak, our whole job is to educate. And last night I had the opportunity at UL to meet with the young Republicans at UL.
There are young Republicans there?
Oh,
There
yes.
are.
Oh, yeah. met some
A lot of
really
colleges don't have any.
dynamite, really met some dynamite young people. Their president's a real sharp lady. John Schroeder stopped in for a while, had a couple of things and handed out some of the flyers for, they were receptive to learning about that stuff. And you
Well,
were
they
there.
need to be, because this is their future,
Right.
you know?
And some other people were there. I mean, that some of them talked about getting their friends to come. I certainly hope they show up. I hope that the Patriots, we can connect with them and teach them and educate them on different things. I already talked to them about doing the Marxism and rules for radicals. For some reason, I have to encapsulate that in 1 hour. So I have a feeling all they can get those rooms for is an hour.
That might be the response time of the ULPD to break up the riot if we get attacked.
But it was a great experience and very educational for me and enlightening to see young people that are conservatives. And I mean, I talked to them and got a pretty good picture. I felt pretty good when we left. So that was last night. There's a lot going on. I mean, the biggest subject we have right now is get out and vote Saturday. And we don't usually tell you what not to vote or vote for.
I will.
But I had some fun on Facebook today. I don't know if we want to go with that right now, or I think maybe
Excuse
we
me.
should go there.
Well, before you start, let me just tell the folks that my lovely wife and I have extended our stay in Louisiana so that
Because
we
of
can.
food, huh?
The food has
Thought
a
so.
lot to do with
I
it.
thought
yes,
so.
Yeah. But we really want to see Trevor tomorrow night. So I had listened to one of his CDs as well as my wife, and we're very excited. So we waylaid our trip for a day or two so that we could get to go to that meeting tomorrow night and see Trevor.
Yeah,
Should be
I'm
interesting.
telling you,
Should be.
you really don't want to miss it. I want to get it to the point where the fire marshal might have a problem. You know, we can fix that though.
I don't think the fire marshals like you though, Jim.
Why is that?
You've pointed out
Oh,
a few,
yeah, that's
a few
true.
beer runs they've done in state vehicles where they went from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. You remember you
Let's
pointed
see.
out that there were no liquor stores in Baton Rouge and they had to go all the way to
All
New
the way to
Orleans for
New
beer?
Orleans to pick up the beer, yeah. And then there's the state police, the marshal, local marshal.
You know, the fire marshal
The
must
only one
be.
we haven't gotten is the sheriff.
Well, we'll wait and see. You know, it's a funny thing though, Jim. The fire marshals must be an extra special brand of stupid because all the rest of the cops in Baton Rouge can just drive around the corner and get beer. They have to drive all the way to New Orleans to get beer. I mean, don't they have a place that sells beer for fire marshals?
Did they have mileage? Did they get paid mileage? We didn't find
don't
that
know.
out, did we?
We don't know.
But
They might have been too drunk to claim the
It's
mileage.
like, I mean, people, we just can't make this stuff up. There's a lot going on. This deal on Saturday with the 3.56 mills rededication,
That travesty.
you know, part of the deal on Facebook today when I went, I did something and I wanted to see how they'd react, and I found out.
Communists!
It's like-
We have communists in the house, by George! Call the fumigator!
But I brought up, I went on there because we're talking about this millage rededication. And I used the word UNESCO.
The truth shall set you free.
And of course, Robideau came back and said that that's not mentioned anywhere, and that's not part of Plan Lafayette. It's not part of anything in Lafayette.
Of course he did.
Well, I'm not going to get to this document, but I have the 22 pages of the CREATE plan, and we'll get to that point. Here's the deal. They said that CREATE was not mentioned in the dedication one. So let me tell you, how do we spell CREATE? It's C-R-E-A-T-E, correct? So, reading this at the bottom here, .25 mills for the purpose of providing and establishing, this is the ballot, okay, from the state Secretary of State. .25 mills for the purpose of providing, establishing, operating, improving, and expanding public facilities and programs to foster and enhance, and now get ready, enhance the parish's culture,
C
recreation,
R
entertainment,
E
arts,
A
tourism,
T
and their respective economies.
E.
And you know what? That spells create.
Yes, sir.
Now, if
Are we
you
on
look at
Sesame
this,
Street? I keep waiting for Big
if you
Bird.
look at this
Right behind me.
document, this document is create. I'm not getting in here yet. What I got hammered for is the UNESCO thing. You're right, UNESCO's not mentioned in here. You are absolutely correct, Joey, and your friends that found the time to hammer Jim. But when you hammer Jim, what does he do?
He goes on
does
TV.
research.
He goes on TV.
Goes on TV, but before he goes on TV, he does some research.
And then you get boostanied.
Listen, people, that is creative deception. It is really, I used create. Oh, gosh. Creative deception. Now,
As Mark says, bait and switch.
I'm gonna read this. Don't be fooled. Vote no on the rededication of the 3.56 health. You know, after this, I'm gonna need a vacation. This Saturday, November 18th, parish voters decide whether to rededicate the 3.56. Oh, this ought to be good.
Go ahead,
Go
caller.
ahead, caller.
Mr. Brett, I needed to ask you something. Do y'all know anything about the e-logs, the computers that are going to be in those 18-wheelers? We want to know how it will affect the food when they deliver the food or the off-field stuff. The
Well,
computers.
all I can say is that they've gone to a computer log instead of a paper log, and basically it forces you to take your downtime, whereas before they could fudge the numbers. So if they're doing what they're supposed to do, they should be okay. But if they're not following their downtime, it forces you to pull over. So it could make a problem if they're not following their schedules the way they're supposed to.
Well, my nephew truck drives. He said it will shut down in 10 hours. You're going to have to stop.
That's correct. You
Exactly
have to,
right.
You have to do your downtime as per law. Yes.
Okay. So you don't think that'll affect like the food getting to the store?
Well, like I said, it depends. If people are doing what they're supposed to do by law, they have to do it anyway. So they have to factor that in. So, yep,
We're gonna make
should
an
be okay.
Good thing. A good thing.
All right.
I don't think so, but it is what it is. You can't do anything about it. So,
We have no control over that
Yeah.
stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We would appreciate it. And we appreciate the lady calling and asking her question. But if we're talking about a subject and you have a question about the subject we're speaking about, please call. But we need to stay on subject. And we've talked about this before. And this is very important, this rededication. Lafayette Parish voters decide whether to rededicate the 3.56 meals health millage. That means moving some of the existing 3.56 meals into the drainage fund. Look, I don't have a problem with moving funds to the drainage thing and to what the main portions of this are. Moving some money into a totally wasteful, unnecessary duplication and expansion of government called the CREATE Initiative, which stands for Culture, Recreation, Arts, Tourism, and Economy. Oh, I think I read that in this page over here that's on the ballot,
I
right?
believe you did.
Of course they said that create was not in there. See, I wasn't lying. I wasn't lying, Joey. I'm telling you right now. Don't be fooled by the title of dedication of the 3-point for the health fund. It's item number 3 on the ballot and is titled Public Health. Yes, some of the rededication goes to drainage. Get it?
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I am calling about the rededication.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We had a group of us try to put an ad in the Daily Advertiser debating this tax rededication, and we were blocked by the advertiser if we would not censor the wording in our article.
You are not alone.
They would not accept the ad. It was a paid advertisement.
That is correct.
It was not an editorial.
Funny how Durrell's ad did not get doctored in any way, shape, or form, but that's par for the course.
Right. And then after they denied us, a couple of hours later, the advertiser on their internet website put out an article that said, tax rededication debate, clearing up misleading statements.
I know, I read
You have a
it.
debate when you have two sides of an issue, and the only issue that's being put out is the verbiage that the city wants out there. There was no debate allowed in the press.
And
So what we're saying is that we had some First Amendment
issues.
issue here.
Which is no surprise, because the lefties in city government are the reason why Mark Pope folded up his career and went purely into broadcasting, because he got tired of the
He admits
bureaucracy.
that publicly. Mark and I actually talked about this today on the phone, or last night.
That's
We
why
spoke
Mark
about
left. He
it.
got tired of the bureaucracy, and he got tired of the left-wing communist agenda. And that's what this is. You support the UN and UNESCO, that's communist.
See, we were going to bring that up because, see, today I challenged Robideau on Facebook, and when you step on Jim, Jim goes a little deeper into to the research. I have the 22-page create document,
The whole thing.
the
I
whole
do too. I do
whole
too.
thing, and I'm going to bring up.
What people don't understand is that the other side of the issue, the people that are challenged them on their verbiage in this rededication, are not being allowed to debate this in the public forum,
Exactly.
in the newspaper.
Well, you see, what's happening is that they've obviously learned from the last tax initiatives that came out that if they let both sides put out information, they lost. So what they have learned is the communist method of control the propaganda, control the message, and win the issue.
And the whole thing is that I mean, that's censorship at its best. And actually, I would feel that opens up the advertiser
Jim.
to a lawsuit.
I was just thinking, do you know a civil attorney who could handle a First Amendment
might know one.
lawsuit for a restriction of your First Amendment rights?
But I'm telling you, he can't.
Well, there's many attorneys
There's
out
many.
there. You could get a referral.
Well, I'm sure he could
I
recommend one.
wonder if Judicial Watch would like to jump in on this one. They like to jump in on those
You know
issues.
who I could call is my boys up in Tennessee
Yeah.
that took care of our thing with the
There you go.
IRS.
'Cause
They would
this is-
love something like
Because
this.
this is definitely restraint of First Amendment rights.
I mean, Mark talked about this last night when I was with young Republicans at
UL.
at UL, and he discussed this, and it's a shame. And I'm glad those young people got to hear that. This is your local newspaper. I don't get the
Well,
advertiser
Jim, this
anymore.
is proof that the left-wing communist agenda, they don't play fair. They play to win.
That's correct. That's correct.
We've got to fight it.
But people need to. Well, another thing I might mention too. Back 2 years ago, they had a rededication, of some of these same funds to build a new animal shelter. Well, do we have a new animal shelter?
No,
2 years
actually,
later?
we were talking about that before the show. There's $10 million sitting there for that new animal shelter. A new animal shelter is needed. The funds are available.
Yeah.
Why are we not building it?
Because they're drawing interest on those funds
Oh,
and
you're
somebody's
right.
making money.
I mean, you know, it's,
It gets better and better.
after 9 years of this and finding and researching, it's crazy. And some people should know better.
But you know, that is why I have to agree with Moon Griffon. Moon hit it on the head on his show, and he re-hits it fairly regularly. We have historical proof like this that show the taxes don't go where they're dedicated. They never do. This is why I'm personally anti-tax, because they never go with the money where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, and you bring up, I mean, I'm glad you called and talked about this. We were going to talk about it. This is something that and see, you can't put it in the paper to get it out there.
No,
No.
they're censoring it.
You can't say, hey, public, this is what the newspaper did, because the newspaper ain't going to print it.
Nope.
I've sent several articles in to be printed, and after they rejected them, I
Jim?
just send them to other people.
Jim, that's why that particular publication was put on the back of the toilet in case we run out of toilet paper, because that's about what it's good for. It's a little scratchy, but it's okay.
Well, thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, thanks for calling. See,
Bye-bye.
that's an excellent point. We were going to talk about that, but I'm glad that she called. You see, censorship. Now, that happens, a censorship like that happens in what, a totalitarian government?
Uncle Joe Stalin was the master of
The
that.
master,
Yes, he
baby.
was.
He invented it.
You see, in this little piece right here, the promotional mail piece sent out recently by Mayor Robideau, former PAC leadership for Louisiana, is totally devious in that the CREATE initiative is not even mentioned in the piece concerning the rededication of the 3.56 mills. How deceptive and honest. I'm sorry. Each of the aspects of CREATE has many existing organizations which support and promote the arts, tourism, and so on. We already have something that supports the arts. We already have a millage that goes to the arts.
Which should not,
Exactly.
by the way.
So-
Public money should not do that.
So tell
Exactly.
me that this money is just going to go for culture. Actually, what I heard, new bicycle pass, just what we need.
A waste of more money. When they got their hand out wanting tax money for other things, and you got something like this, that's a travesty.
You know, and I have another letter that I brought up the thing about UNESCO. I want. This was the part. I was driving him crazy at the house. I got him now, Butch.
Yes, he was.
That's easy.
Yes.
Talent unknown from God.
So I was going through. What's nice is Mark's notes are in here.
Yeah,
That helps.
he did good research.
Did. Oh, look! UNESCO. Enhancing community quality. The creative industries not only enhance our community's quality. This, what I'm reading from, is the CREATE document
Itself.
itself, but have the potential to reduce the impact of periodic economic downturns. Our task is to align the creative economy, there's that word again, with other strategic priorities for sustainable growth. Now tell me, what is that word sustainable hooked up with?
That is the communist buzzword for we're going to take from you people who work and give it to you people who don't. That's sustainable.
Sustainable growth is Agenda 21 or Agenda 30 or whatever.
Yeah, it's
the heck
escalated.
Whatever the new agenda is.
whatever the new agenda is.
Deeper into your pocket. They're up to their
Yes.
elbows in your
Yes.
pockets, people.
What I said the other day, and several people in the group agreed, it's bigger government, more taxes. Heritage preservation and nurturing a welcoming, vibrant community. Okay, on the next page, it says, public-private sectors perceive the creative industries as key factors of sustainable economics.
Create and sustain together.
Social, cultural, and environmental development. There's that.
Well, you see, they got to hook up the social justice warriors with the environmental wackos so they all get the green money. Oh, wait, George Soros just gave him $18 billion.
Here
Okay.
were the advisors. Lafayette Consolidated Government,
My.
Department of Community Development. Wonder if Obama was working for him. Oh, John. Goat herder.
Yowza.
Yeah, look like I could get through this week there.
Well, we checked the phones to make sure.
Yeah, you want to create a bulge in their back pocket. Make their wallet swell up, make them taller when they stand on it.
Oh, no.
They have been.
They would never want to do that, John.
You think? I just want to tell every patriot man and woman alike, keep your powder dry, get ready, go to the range like being bred to, and make yourself proficient with your arms. Because if it keeps on, they are not going to stop until they disarm us and they do what they want to do with us.
Well, I don't think we'll be too disarmed.
Some of us won't.
I wouldn't put the history, people that don't realize history, that's what the Germans did to the Jews.
Exactly.
That's what Stalin did to the Russians.
Ask a
That's
Ukrainian.
what the Chinese did to their people.
20 million later.
There's kind of genocides
Yeah.
with that, wasn't there?
200 million estimated in the 20th century killed
Right.
by various
The,
totalitarian regimes.
Yeah, it's getting to where it's UN political crap.
Now
That's the
Robidoux
political
said,
load up.
hey, John, Robidoux said on Facebook today that none of this is tied to the UN.
Did he sprout horns and a tail when he said it?
When they both
Did his
came to
nose
the
grow?
meeting, then they was having their little discussion. I forget who it was. Maybe Brett was around. I said I wouldn't vote for neither one of them. It'd be like putting your hand in a bucket of snakes, see which one you come out with.
That's my man right there.
Pretty much.
You know,
Oh, man. You
there
come,
ain't an honest one in the bunch and a truth teller in the whole bunch.
you got it,
Adios, my
baby.
friends.
Yeah. See you tomorrow night, huh?
He's coming. He's coming.
Okay, here's some of the advisors for CREATE. Department of Parks and Recreation. Lafayette Public Trust and Financing Authority. I didn't know we had that. Arts, Business, and Culture Group. There it is again. Lafayette Convention and Visitors Commission. Lafayette Economic Development. But we're coming to the page that I like. No UNESCO, right? No UN. Not anywhere in any of the documents on Plan Lafayette. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Best practices approach for research.
You know, you hear that a lot nowadays in a lot of trainings. My old office, we used to have outcome-based best practices.
Here we go. Best practices approach to research. We cross-reference existing and developing local plans with globally recognized models to confirm insights and reveal opportunities for innovation. Okay, UNESCO's not involved, right, Joey? Or not Joey, Joel. Sorry, Joey was involved back then, so either or. So let me read that. We cross-referenced existing and developing local plans with globally recognized models to confirm insights and reveal opportunities for innovation. International, national, and regional models. UNESCO Creative Cities Network.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
You know, Mr. Robideau must not be a very literate man because he missed that in their own documents.
this is their plan. I didn't write this.
Wait, do you think Robideau's nose grew a little bit when he said that?
You know, UNESCO's not anywhere in the Plan Lafayette or Create documents. Then you have American How Arts and Culture Sector catalyze national governors. Oh, there's a good organization. National Governors Association using arts and culture, and so on and so forth. Lafayette Parish Community Models. Plan Lafayette. Downtown Action Plan. Arts and Culture Outline. Parks and Recreation Draft. Let me read this again. We cross-referenced existing and developing local plans with globally. Who's global?
Daddy Bush!
The UN.
Daddy Bush!
Recognized models to confirm insights and real opportunities for innovation. And then we have one of the models that they wrote in their document.
Word for word.
UNESCO Creative Cities Network.
There it is.
Now, today I got hammered on Facebook by these people that this was not anywhere in Plan Lafayette. UNESCO was not in there at all, and the UN was no part of this. Fellas, when you go look, it's on page 5 under Best Practices Approach for Research.
Why is it, Jim, that these people have to lie about this stuff? Why can't they, you know, I'm not the kind of guy that talks about people being misquoted. That's an outright lie, okay? It happens in Arizona, it happens here in Louisiana. I don't understand why the lies have to be told. If this is what you want, why don't you just be honest with the people and tell them what you're going to use their money for?
Because the left just lost a major election, and we deplorables are now awake. And they have to coat that turd in sugar and try to make it look like something palatable because they know it won't pass the sniff test, and we deplorables will vote against it. That's why they have to lie and manipulate.
It's an outright change.
Here's the deal. When you cut a deal and you get a grant, and that's what this is all about, getting grants. And one of the biggest things I've learned in the last 5 years is what happens when you get a grant with the federal government.
If you want to get it
Or
again, you
a
got to follow
grant
it.
from the UN.
You got to follow it,
You have to follow their rules.
or you lose the money.
I scared the council when I pointed out that part of the grant they got for smart meters, they got $200,000 to inform the public.
Nobody
They-
was informed. Those
They
meters
said
were,
they informed the public at a meeting.
Jim, those
That's
meters,
not $200,000.
Jim, those meters were in the next morning right after the meeting, which shows.
Oh, no, not the parking meters, the smart meters.
Oh, you're talking about the
Smart meters.
yeah, the ones on the houses, yeah.
The
Yeah,
original smart
I looked at the grant. I read the whole grant.
Well, Jim, it makes you wonder what code they're following for the parking meters that were put in too. Those parking meters, because those things were not announced to the public either.
Didn't they show up in like a day?
Yes, Jim and I.
The very next day.
They had the meeting.
Meeting
Jim
on
and I,
Tuesday.
Yeah. The
On
meeting was
Tuesday.
Tuesday, and Jim and I ate downtown on Wednesday before the show, and we're looking, and I tell him, "Ooh, they got credit card meters out there." And he went, "But boy, that was a quick deployment. Would they have elves
And
out there?"
As far as I know, there was never anything said previous to that meeting.
Correct.
And they already had the meters and installed that very day. I mean, really. Now here we go. The Create Lafayette initiative was established with an understanding that these clusters,
It's a cluster, all right. Good word.
don't go there,
It's a
be
cluster.
careful, and disciplines would and should overlap thereby strengthening the ecosystem.
Who cares about the ecosystem? Why are we putting flood drainage money to strengthen the ecosystem when the money should be kept in the drainage to keep the ecosystem from being underwater?
Yes.
I'm not going through this whole plan, but I'm going to tell you something. I have read all of it, believe me.
Yeah. America, you need to do the same thing. You need to read it all.
I can't put what he said.
No.
I can't say that on here.
That's okay.
Mark's notes are rather explicit.
He got to the point.
My point is, you people, and I don't remember all the other names, but I know Robideau was one of the biggies tied in there. Listen, people, I didn't write this document. Right on the front, it's sustainability. Sustainability is a UN-generated system.
And Jim, one question for you. When Robideau was in Congress, he ran as a Republican, didn't he?
Yeah, he ran as a Republican.
Well, he's not anymore.
Well, you know.
He's a good communist.
Here's the deal. You sat on my face this afternoon and said UNESCO was no part of this deal. And then you say, we're misinforming the public. I get tired of that. I get tired of getting phone calls from the governor and representatives and other people telling me I'm misinforming. What I started doing is saving the articles that I got. I email them back to them and say, you wrote it.
Quit taking dumbbells phone calls. It's okay.
Unbelievable. Look, people, you want the UN sitting in this city? Because they are in other cities doing the same thing. It's not like I just started studying this stuff. I've been at this UN Agenda 2130 or whatever the heck thing they title it, sustainability. I sat in a meeting right here and I said, if y'all mention the word sustainability tonight, I know that it's Agenda 21. And the guy that was putting on the presentation says, oh no. So what do I read in the paper the next day? Sustainability. We need. And so I came back to the next meeting and I got kicked out because I disagreed with what they said.
Well, that's what they do. The First Amendment only applies if you agree with the communist agenda.
Yes.
If you don't agree, hate speech. It's hate speech.
I'm going to tell you something, people. You got to get out and vote no. I'm telling you, I'm going against my principles of doing things here, but I'm telling you, this is important because this is the first step, big step, regardless of what Robideau and his boys say, and the council, this is the first step for us losing control of Lafayette, Louisiana. And I'll tell you what, in studying sustainability and Agenda 21 and 30, this is how they're going to do it, and it may not be in my lifetime, but by 2025, they go to communities the size of Lafayette. And they come in and they start doing this stuff. Look, you know why the Democrats are so mad?
Trump got elected.
Trump got elected.
Put a hiatus.
Is Trump the best thing that ever happened to America? Right now, yes. And I say that not because I believe and I agree with Trump at 100%. Okay? I'm telling you, I'm not a total Trump person, but I'm going to tell you something. If Hillary got elected, the three of us would not be sitting here tonight.
They'd done picked us up.
Yep.
And we would not have made it to the jail. We would have had an accident along the way.
Absolutely.
You think Freddie Gray died bad in the Baltimore thing? We'd have had it worse. We'd have been found under the overpass.
But you see, that I don't know how to put this across to people, and some people look at me like they looked at y'all in the 90s when you were talking about this stuff. Look, people, what they talked about, what Tom talked about, what Brett talked about in the 90s,
Here we are.
we're there.
There's his.
It's happening today. But they were the conspiracy guys.
We always
Oh my
preached about
God, they're a bunch of wackos.
Yeah.
Tom was always preaching about the evils of the UN. Watch out, we need to get out of the UN and all this stuff. And everybody called us a bunch of tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists. And isn't it ironic that here we are in 2017 and we have the very thing that we were called conspiracy theorists about, trying to siphon off tax money from flood control funds to go to a left-wing green agenda, which is a waste of money. It is just, you would get more benefit if you flushed it down the commode.
I'm going to tell you what. Over in Camellia Boulevard, River Ranch, 10 to 21. Rack and stack.
Yep.
And if you people don't understand, Agenda 21 does not want suburban life.
Oh no.
That's right.
Does not
Yep.
want country life.
They want control.
Control of everything.
In fact, look at Communist China. That's how Communist China stacks up their people.
Exactly.
Right on top of each other, where they control them.
My son and I took a little trip up through the Northeast. I went back home for a reunion, high school reunion. And we took a trip up through the Northeast, and we were coming into New York. And he said to me, "Man, Dad, look at them big hotels over there." And I said, "Those aren't hotels. That's where people live. We're talking 60 floors of people." And he said, "No, people don't live there." I said, "Yes, they do. Those are apartments." And that is what this whole thing is about. Rack and stack, control, and higher taxes. Government control.
And notice the
And
taxes always go up.
I'm telling you, tomorrow I'm going to get slammed on Facebook. I don't care. I'm going to tell you what I know. And it's not something that just came out of this head. Believe me, I'm not that smart. But the thing is that I know how to read. Today I was told UNESCO was nowhere, and that's what they said,
Nowhere to be found.
nowhere to be found in Plan Lafayette,
Yep.
in Create, and all that. And I'm sitting with a 22-page document.
That obviously Mr. Robideau has not read.
Apparently so.
Well, it's, you know.
You know, when you get in Congress, you know, it cuts off the oxygen in the brain, you know, you
We
don't
have to
read
pass
good.
it
Yes, sir.
first.
Yes, I understand.
We basically have to pass it first.
To read it.
To read it, yeah. Well,
Quoting Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
but, you know,
Comrade Pelosi.
wake up, people. I'm telling you.
Yeah, this is your money. If you don't vote this thing down, that's your money going for this crap. And that's what it is.
I felt honored to be with those young Republicans because of the reaction to me, the reaction they had to what I was telling them. It was not what I hear from a lot of
The left.
the left. We got to teach our youth. If you don't understand Marxism, if you don't understand the rules for radicals, if you don't understand the 8 steps to create a socialistic state, and I'll tell you the other one I talk about every so often is Sharia law. These women keep saying, we got to get Sharia law.
It's the ultimate old boy network.
You know, and here,
You have the right to remain silent.
yeah.
Shut up.
You know, but this here is just what we talk about and educate. Look, when you see, let's look at Roy Moore, okay? The stuff that's coming out. The stepson says she's lying. Okay, they go into the yearbook. What did they find? 17 discrepancies.
Yep, absolutely.
Different
The yearbook.
ink, signature doesn't
But you
match.
know
Yep.
what? That's not the important thing. They keep telling the lie. They keep telling the lie, and they keep telling the lie until what happens?
Somebody believes
They
it.
believes them. Why do you think they don't want Roy Moore?
Can't have a Christian
Incentive.
conservative up there.
You know what? He's untouchable,
Uncorruptible, too.
uncorruptible.
He won't vote the way they want. They can't buy him off.
And you know what it comes down to? What I just talked about here. Global, one world government. And there you go again, Jim. Talking all that crazy stuff. I
Well,
mean,
Daddy Bush admitted it.
What they want. Yep.
huh?
Younger
Daddy
Bush-
Bush admitted it.
Younger Bush admitted it. I mean, they're big. They want that.
This guy and Tom changed my whole view I came from a little town in Pennsylvania, 400 people, okay, with one main road, one concrete road and a dirt road. Now they made the dirt road concrete.
Man, one school bus goes through there, y'all gotta take a new census.
Yeah, and the school bus picked us up, and I couldn't skip school because the school bus stopped in front of my house. It's pretty hard.
Yowza.
Yeah, innocent till proven guilty. And Turkey Neck McConnell already siding with all the women that's talking.
Yep.
He's the one that need to go.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, you know, I thought it was you innocent till proven guilty. All they do, from what I understand, a lot of these women are Democrats and work for the Democrats.
They all worked for him.
And they had to be schooled for 2 weeks so they could get their story straight.
Well, they're not very smart. You see, that's the problem.
I like the girl. They're about as fake as
40 years, they wait 40 years? Oh, man.
Well, we said they were slow.
People need to wake up. Every time we get a good conservative, it comes out he's either a child molester or something. And they didn't do nothing. Bill was a rapist.
Well, it's getting old, John.
Correct.
This whole deal is getting old.
Yep.
This is
The
so
people ain't that
Alinsky.
stupid no more, guy. You know that.
It's okay. It's okay, caller.
I know. I crawled out from under a wet rock a few years ago.
It's okay, caller.
We all did.
Bill Clinton retired Little Willie. It's okay. Little Willie has been retired.
Okay.
I'm gonna see all of our guys.
Oh, yeah.
All right, buddy. Thanks for
I'm
the
catching
call.
the giggles here.
That's our man, Goat Man. We're gonna let Butch here, seeing he's from Arizona. It was kind of ironic. I'm reading the Advocate in the morning, and you want to read this, Butch?
Sure.
We're not totally done with this subject. We'll be back the next hour with something else we'll talk about, but we're not going to get through the pile again tonight. You want to read that, Butch?
Sure. Jim saved this for me because I'm from Arizona, and it's a letter written to the paper, The Advocate, from a Miss Susan B. Schamberger, who may very well be a very nice lady. I don't know her. I have no idea. But she writes, where my concern comes in is she's writing about Arizona. It says, I'm deeply concerned about the future of our country. Recently, U.S. Senator Jeff Flake gave a speech in the Senate that expressed so eloquently what is my heart. This situation in this country is like a fable of the king's subjects being afraid to say that they have no clothes. In this case, tragically, it is not a fable. Rather, it is Flake said that a matter of our country being led by a man who is dangerously unfit to be president and is destroying our democratic norms. He is an embarrassment and doing irreparable damage to what we stand for as a country. This is about the future of our country. All three of these men are intelligent, principled, and cherished values of truth, honor, and democratic institutions. All of us must join Senator Flake, McCain, and Corker, okay, and demand that the president honor truth, civility, and the democratic process. And if he can't or won't, demand that he be impeached.
You just laid out the Three Stooges. Who's Mo, Larry, and Curly?
Yes, sir, absolutely. These, and I'm from Arizona,
Would you
folks.
agree that McCain is Mo?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He's the ignorant leader?
Without a doubt, without a doubt. I felt the urge and the need to respond to this letter, and I did so on Sunday evening so that the Advocate had it first thing Monday morning. It says, Good morning, Louisiana. I'm writing this letter in response to Susan B. Schamberger's letter of November 10th concerning Senator Jeff Flake. As a political activist, voter, and an American-loving patriot who lives in Arizona, Miss Susan could not be more wrong. And to be honest, sounds like just another Trump hater, because this is how they all talk. As a team, Senators McCain and Flake over the years have voted time and time again with the liberals of Arizona. Jeff Flake, in his speech Susan mentioned, forgot to say that he was getting beat by 40 points in the current election by a great conservative, Dr. Kelly Ward, who is running for his seat. The fable Flake refers to is that the GOP having control of all three houses and cannot get one thing accomplished. And this is because of not only the liberals, but because of the rhinos like Flake and McCain. These people have been continuously ruining the conservative arm of the Republican Party for years. Where I'm at here. It is the liberal and the rhino Trump haters standing in the way of MAGA. It saddens me to think that Susan is one of these haters, and most likely is a voting liberal. Susan also mentions Bob Corker, who is another Trump hater, and just after the election, just after President Trump won, he, along with McCain and Flake, both committed not to work with this president. They said it in public. We should all join the 16 million American voters who support Trump and not the rhinos like McCain and Flake. President Trump will keep this great republic safe, but only if the lawmakers allow him to do so. Maybe people like Susan should get the pulse of the people in Arizona before making wild claims. If Susan is interested in the truth, go ahead.
No. No, we don't answer that.
If Susan is interested,
No, that is our guy. That's our good guy.
No, it's not.
if Susan is interested in the truth, I'd be more than happy to send you the voting records directly from
We'll pick it up
Arizona
and find out.
on what
Yeah.
they've done. Go ahead, take the phone.
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah, why you think Trump not?
That's who it was.
Yeah.
The peanut gallery is alive and well.
Haven't heard from him in a week or two.
And I ended the letter by saying to call these three men conservative Republicans is an absolute farce.
Now, one thing that Butch did not mention that we will throw back in there, you know who Bob Corker is? Bob Corker is allegedly the conservative Republican who drafted the Iran nuclear deal for Barack Obama.
Exactly.
Yes.
And folks, unless you've been living under a rock, do you not see a problem that a guy that's supposed to be a conservative Republican is putting the nation of Israel at risk, putting the whole security of the world at risk, to give a nuclear deal to a bunch of jihadi Muslim yo-yos? That just defies logic. That's Bob Corker.
It does.
What we got left? After, I mean, I'm sitting and waiting to see if this gets put
Responded
in the paper.
to.
Responded
Yes.
in the paper, if they put it in there.
I doubt if they would, because they're controlling the narrative.
Yeah, and you know,
See, if it wasn't for Moon, if it wasn't for Carol Ross, if it wasn't for us, the truth would never get out.
exactly. Oh man, give it up.
That's
But after, in the next hour, we're gonna show you.
God, they found you, big dog.
We're gonna show you what a hypocrite Mitch Landrieu is. On the taking down of the monuments. Because I got a thing from the hayride, and I don't have enough time to cover this beforehand,
next
but
hour.
I'm just letting you know that the hypocrite who thinks he's ready to run for president.
President of what? Local golf club?
Well, I had another statement for that, but on air, we can't talk like that. But,
What a shame.
and then, guess what? I have some more state police stuff.
You know, it just never stops.
Our little guy. slaps. You know what slap is, right? That's court cost, attorney fees up to $16,000. Then I have another one. The only ones collecting in lawsuits against the state are $3 million for a defense attorney.
Wow.
0 for the plaintiffs and the attorneys. And then, again, my boys at the Louisiana Voice, they do their work. Bogus search warrants, security issues, transportation costs. Here I go again. I'm going to get in trouble with.
Fire away.
You know who that is. And then we have other stuff, and I know you got a bunch, but our buddy, 100.
Dumbbell.
They said that's actually 44 million. So, but
We'll
that see, this is stuff that most people don't even know. The reason I ran through that is we had a couple minutes. This kind of stuff here, they allow Hamburger or whatever her name is. Is it Hamburger or Hamburger or whatever?
Schamberger, Miss Schamberger.
Hamburger. I'll call her Hamburger. It's a mix of you know what. But stuff like that gets printed. Earlier we had a call where they were trying to put 10 seconds. I won't
will
get
see
that.
you
We'll be back.
We'll be back after.